Hello and welcome to the video primer for my specialization, introduction, and outdoor content guides for World of Warcraft Battle for Azeroth. In this video, we're going to be priming you for the videos that are coming up. We're going to be going over everything that's going to be covered in each of the videos we'll be doing. We'll be doing a video for each specialization in the game. In these videos, we'll be covering everything you need to know to be able to get started, get out there, and do open world content on the specialization of your choice. The point for this is that if you want to pick up and try a specialization that you've never tried before, or get reacquainted with one that you just haven't played in a while, you can use these videos to give you enough information to get out there, start doing that content without getting bogged down by changes and numbers and percentages. We're going to go over the core mechanics, just what you need to be able to get out there and not get murdered and destroyed over and over again. So in this video, we're going to be touching on the different sections, going over some explanations of why we're doing the things that we're doing, so that you can watch this video one time and it'll apply across the 36 different videos that are to come in the future. That also keeps me from having to repeat myself over and over again, and it shaves a lot of time off each of these videos, so you should be able to watch them a lot faster, get in, start playing a lot faster, or watch a couple of them and maybe get a comparison between all of the different specializations. So that said, we're going to jump in here. And of course, there we go. I was about to say, of course it would, not show World of Warcraft when I'm actually doing the recording for this. Okay, so once we get logged into a character, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we have all of our action bars visible. You just do that by going into your interface menu, clicking on action bars, making sure that these top 4 boxes are checked, and then make sure that your action bars are all cleared out and empty. The reason for this is we're going to be using our action bars to organize our spells in our spell book. So after we've got our action bars visible and empty, we're going to go into our talent tree. We're going to make sure that we have no talents selected that are passive or that replace existing abilities that we already have. The reason for this is we want to first examine the rotation of the specialization before any of your abilities and things are influenced by talents. Then we'll come back, we'll create a build that works well in open world content, and we'll look at how the talents are affecting the skills and the rotation at that point. Now you can't always pick a talent that isn't passive. Sometimes you'll get a row where all 3 are passive. In that case, you want to try to pick the ability that's going to have the least impact on your rotation. For each of the specializations, I will have talent selected that I think best do this, so that if you want to follow along with the video and try things out yourself, you'll be able to do that. If you're just worried about, getting to the end where we've got the talent, you can kind of, skip this part because you'll end up just creating the build the way we have for the open world content anyway. So after we've got our action bars set up and after we have our talent selected, that's when we're going to be jumping into our spell book, and we're going to be categorizing all of our different spells and sorting them. Now we're going to be ignoring any spell that says talent underneath it, because that means it's something we have because of a talent that we've selected. For example, Breath of Sindragosa here, that's something we're getting from a talent, and that's not part of the baseline spells that are for this specialization. So we're going to ignore that for now. If we pick these talents later on, we'll see how they work in our build a little bit later. Now we're going to be breaking each of these spells down into one of 6 different categories, and we're going to be placing them in different portions of our action bar. The reason for this is it will help us focus on the skills that are most important to get out there and just start playing, while sorting everything else into categories so we can start incorporating the right types of skills into our gameplay as we play more and more. For example, you may be doing your core rotation and realize, oh hey, I'm taking a lot of damage, I probably want to start using a defensive ability. What are my defensive abilities? Well, they're all going to be in one section, so you know what to pay attention to in order to find that particular type of ability. So what are the categories? First, down here along our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the numbers you hit all the time, we're going to be placing the abilities that are part of our core rotation. These are the abilities that we're going to be using in just about every single fight. They've got low cooldowns. You know, they are the core spenders of our rotation, and they help us do what our specialization does. At the opposite end here, we're going to be placing our offensive cooldown abilities, and these are abilities that have above a 30-second cooldown and help our specialization do its job better. So if we're a DPS class, these would be abilities that would help us to do increased DPS. For tanks and healers, they would be things that help us more proactively tank or heal. In the short section, down here on the bottom, we're going to be placing our defensive cooldowns. These are going to be abilities on a longer than a 30-second cooldown that mitigate damage or heal up health or otherwise will help us survive in situations where we might otherwise die because we're taking too much damage. Above that, we're going to be placing our CC or crowd control abilities. These are going to be abilities that stun or slow, silence, interrupt, anything that helps us control our opponents and control the battlefield. Above our core rotation abilities, we're going to be placing our combat utility spells. These are going to be spells that are usable in combat but have situational use and aren't part of our core rotation. At the opposite end of this section here, we're going to be placing some of those combat utility spells that we are probably not going to use very often in open world content. We'll put them over in this area because we want to remember that we have them for the rare situations where we might want to use them. But they'll be separate from the things that we're using all the time. You know, that way we can focus on what's most important. Finally, over here on the right hand side, we're going to be placing any of our abilities that don't fall into one of those other categories. This is our miscellaneous area. It's generally going to be abilities that you'll use outside of combat, or they're just kind of fun, or they're very utility oriented. And we want to make sure that we put those abilities out there and remember that we have them because we want to get the most that we can out of this specialization. If you're testing it out, you want to test it out with all the bells and whistles and fun things that you can do, not just the core, combat related things. So after we've sorted our abilities, the next thing we'll do is we will check out the resources available to the specialization. We'll cover what they are and how they function, and we do this so that when we start reading abilities, we actually know what those abilities mean. After that, we will check out any passive abilities that are relevant to playing our class in combat and influencing the decisions that we make. Then we will set up and demo the core rotation of the class, and we'll go down to some target dummies and show how everything works. Then we'll come back and we'll jump back into our talents, and we will create our talent build that is suited to open world content. We'll go through each of the talents and what they do and how they help the build. Then we'll go down to the target dummies again. We'll show off how the new version of the build works so that you can see that in action. Then we'll come back and we're going to go over the PvP talents. In Battle for Azeroth, Blizzard has introduced something called War Mode, and you're able to toggle this on or toggle it off. And when you have it toggled on, you are placed into a PvP instance with other people who have also toggled on War Mode. This is like being on a PvP server, but you no longer have to have establish your characters on a PvP server. At the same time, if you have War Mode toggled off, then you are in a PvE server, and even if you were on a PvP server before this was implemented, you no longer have to worry about open world PvP. Now, when you do toggle War Mode on, there are incentives for doing so, such as increased experience and more rewards from your world quests, things like that. So some people may want to toggle War Mode on for those benefits. If you do, and your primary interest is still to participate in PvE content, not PvP, then there are some talents that you can select here that will benefit that. One of the perks of toggling on War Mode is you get these 4 PvP talents, and for the most part they are geared towards open world PvP. And if that's what you want to do, you'll want to pick different talents than the ones that we'll show in the video. However, if you want to toggle war mode on for the other benefits and you're just going to deal with PvP whenever you have to, but for the most part you want to concentrate on doing your questing, your leveling, and your farming, then we're going to cover the talents that I think work the best in that sort of a situation. Finally, to cap off the video, we're going to take all this stuff that we've learned out into the open world, and we're going to fight a few different enemies. We're going to do single target, we're going to do multi-target, we're going to find some elites and some rare spawns to kill, and just show off how the build works and how the specialization will play. That's the goal with these videos. That's the reason that I'm making them. The process helps me to learn and figure out what specializations I would like to play in Battle for Azeroth, and I hope that they can do the same for you if you're looking to change things up or you just want to get familiarized, with a specialization you haven't played in a while. Then I hope these videos will do that. If you like these videos, give me a thumbs up. Help encourage me to keep making more content like this. Subscribe, hit the bell if you want to see more videos like this. And either way, if you don't do any of that stuff, I really just hope that these videos will help you out and that you have a fun time in Battle for Azeroth. So, thanks for taking the time to watch this video, and I appreciate you checking out one of my specialization introduction and open world content videos. Thank you.